Hey guys, what's up? My name's SweatyWap. Today I'm posting my first video on YouTube for this channel. This is gonna be a learning experience for me, seeing as how I'm not a video editor. But you got to start somewhere, and I think the best place to start, simple content. We're gonna go over what my community is determining the top 5 budget / beginner loadouts for the game. Current patch is 0.12.7, I believe. Oh yeah, down here, 12.7. What we're going to be going over today is what you should and maybe should not be running if you're, I'd say, anywhere from level 10 to 25. This is gear that you should be taking in that is good for both PvP and PvE. It's not going to cost you a whole bunch. It's going to allow you to make some money if you survive. At the same time, being able to defend yourself from some of the people that are quite heavily geared. So keep in mind, this is none of this is meta. This is all simply just what we all assume in my Discord to be some of the best gear to run if you don't have maxed out traders and quest unlocks. So keep that in mind as we go into gear set number 1. Alright, so first up, this gear set, brought to you by my longtime Tarkov friend, Locke. We have the AK-74, which is a 5.45 by 39 caliber AK. Pretty modestly built. This is not a very expensive gun at all. I think overall cost, you're looking at maybe 100k rubles, quite possibly less, depending on if you can find some of these parts for cheaper on the flea market, which typically you can. Select few, that is. So let's start off here with the muzzle brake. What we have here is the SRVV, negative 8% recoil. This is mechanic level 3 though. What I suggest to most people that don't have mechanic level 3 is the DTK1, and this is purchasable from skier level 2. 1% less recoil reduction and 0.1 less in muzzle velocity. Take the muzzle velocity as you will. I'm not even sure if it really makes that much of a difference. I haven't really noticed it. So there's the muzzle brake. Okay, if you have mechanic level 3, I would go with the SRVV. If you don't, if you have skier level 2, I would go with the DTK1. Next up, we have the TT01. Okay, this replaces your rear sight on this gun, and it has a rail for an optic. If you don't have an optic, you still have your peep sight, so you could use your iron sights. Depending on how much money you have, you could just take it in with just this, and then upgrade. You could slap a red dot that will fit during the raid if you kill someone or if you find it in a weapons crate. Next up, we have just a standard stock butt with the rubber butt pad. Rubber butt pad you should be able to purchase from Proper at, I believe, level 2, maybe even level 1. I'm not too certain there. Which reduces the recoil by another 5%, making the gun a little bit easier to handle. After that, this is kind of a if you want to use it, which is the 45 round magazine for this gun. I always find high capacity magazines save my life a decent amount of times. Just being able to have a couple more bullets than somebody else, not having to reload, or hearing that dreadful click at the end of a spray and the dude is still alive. That is one of the scariest things you could ever experience in Tarkov. So this is kind of this is optional. This is optional. You could definitely use just the 30 rounder. If you're confident you can hit your shots, or if you would rather use semi-auto, I would say stick with the 30 rounder, because the issue here is when you reload the gun, it's going to be a 3-slot. And if your rig doesn't have a 3-slot, you're dropping this mag and the ammo that remains in it. Okay. Also, let's take it out and put it in the inventory here. We have the AK Polymer handguard, foregrip, I mean. Handguard, foregrip, same difference. This handguard is purchasable from Proper level 1, and it has a rail on the bottom which allows you to put a foregrip. And the foregrip being the RK4, purchasable from skier level 2. Okay, and like I said earlier, the ammo. Ammo is one of the most important parts in the game. Hitting your shots is one thing, but those shots hitting and actually dealing damage to the armor and body is a whole different story. And using anything less than, I say, BT in this caliber is pointless. BP, inconsistent. BT, I find it to be consistent enough. It's going to go through face shields. It's going to shred up level 4 armor fast enough to where you should be able to kill someone if you get the drop. And it's cheap. I think on the flea market right now, you're averaging less than 300 around. Okay, so 300 to 400 rubles per round, which is significantly cheaper than what Proper sells it, which is 509 rubles a round. So keep that in mind. If you have better ammo lying around, obviously use that. But we're going to assume that you don't. So buy the BT. Flea market it. Don't buy it from Proper. You lose money. Okay, and then obviously here we have a level 4 armored rig. This is the 6B3TM, which is purchasable from Ragman level 2. It's a level 4 armor. It is a Titan, so it repairs very well. You can take a couple shots from it, get out of the raid, and it'll repair pretty well. What you want to stay away from is ceramic material. Ceramic does not repair well at all. It's pretty much, think of ceramic armors as a one-time use if you take damage in the raid. Okay, and then we have the Tac Kek. Looks like a Fast MT. It's not. And the only reason that this helmet is to be used over the, what do we have here? The SSH is recoil chance. This has one of the highest recoil chance, or ricochet chance, I mean, in the game. Which, realistically, unless you're running some of the top tier helmets, that's what you're going for, is ricochet chance. And this, you can put a face shield on this if you want, but at that point you're spending almost 3 times the money on the face shield that you are for the helmet. So keep that in mind as well. And then obviously you have some meds, throw in some painkillers here. IFAK if you have it, Salewa if you don't. Obviously you guys should kind of know how the meds work. AI2 is to just heal limbs, bandages, stop bleeds. IFAKs do both. And Salewas do both, card med kits, so on and so forth. I always recommend having at least one splint. If not, the Alu splint. 5 uses, extremely cheap. Don't even have to put them in your gamma. As well as the survival kit. It's always good to have a survival kit, whether it's this or the CMS kit, whatever you prefer. I just like having the survival because if I run out of splints and I really need my leg, it heals a splint. And I think that wraps it up for gear set number 1. This one I think is probably going to be my favorite. Just on kill ability, like the ability you'll have to kill other players with this kit is pretty high. And the price of the ammo is extremely cheap. So let's get on to kit number 2. This one's going to be a little bit more budget. Alright, and here we have kit number 2. This one's going to comprise of the PPSH. This time we're having a dedicated body armor, which is the Zook 3 press armor. Level 3. Also not ceramic. It's very important. PPSH, let's start with that. Okay, very basic. Gun is sold by Proper level 2. Drum mag, you can also trade for at Proper level 2. It's gonna cost you 1 pile of weapon parts, or you can purchase it at Proper level 3. With the ammo being the LRN PC. This kit, kind of a leg shredder, good at killing scavs, not great at killing PMCs, but if you get close enough to them, you can devastate their legs and even arms. And if you can, obviously, if you can hit the face shot, you hit the face shot. So this one I wouldn't really consider too much of a PvP build, but it is very practical in close quarter situations. You're gonna want to pair this if you're gonna be running the drum mag. You're gonna want to pair with the what is this actually called? The SOE micro rig, because it has a 4 slot for your drum mag. So what'll happen is when you reload to a smaller mag, when this runs out of ammo, it's gonna go here. That's gonna go there. You don't drop your 71 rounder. And then usual suspect of the Tac Kek helmet again for that ricochet chance, and then Comtax. I think the last one I didn't mention, the Comtax. I think hearing is extremely important in this game, whether it be people sneaking up on you, scavs kind of sneaking around. And just being able to hear where people are at before you enter a building is extremely important. Just knowing if someone's in there. For instance, going into dorms. It's very easy to hear people when they're on the inside walking around if you're outside and close enough to the building. And that's the way it is for pretty much every building in the game. It's easy to hear them. And this one especially, you're going to want to bring some extra ammo because this fire rate is so high at 1,000 rounds per minute. 71 rounds isn't going to last that long if you're doing a full spray on someone, which I want to really recommend because recoil isn't great. 47 vertical is not bad, but you have 220 horizontal. Not the greatest. Not the greatest. And there's no way to really mod this gun at all. So this is what you're stuck with. Okay? You're not modding this gun. You're not putting a foregrip. You're not putting a different stock or muzzle device. This is it. This is it. And that's what makes this kit pretty good budget-wise, is it's extremely cheap. The gun costs you 25,000 rubles. With the mag, let's see what proper sells it for at level 3. Another 16. So you're talking 40,000 rubles for the gun and mag. Ammo, I think it's 70 rubles a round. You're spending almost nothing on this ammo. And then the helmet and armor. Armor, you should be able to find it around 25 to 30,000 rubles on the flea market. And it repairs pretty well. So let's see, this one's 10.6 out of 50. Let's repair it. We get 38 points from proper, 39. So we're going to go with proper to repair it. And we're at 48.6 out of its original 50 durability. So it repairs very well. And that's pretty much it. Again, aim for the legs. If you can get the headshot, if someone's walking towards you and doesn't see you, shoot them in the face. If not, devastate their legs. They should go down. And then obviously scavs pretty rarely have good armor. And almost, I don't want to say almost never have helmets. It's pretty rare they have helmets that are good, that'll stop the bullets. So, good PvE gun. Good last ditch effort gun. So that's it for this kit. I think my buddy's calling this one the Soviet-Russian leg remover. Soviet-Russian leg remover. I agree. Let's get on to the next one. All right. Next is set number 3. This one's going to comprise of your SKS here. OPSKS. This one, purchasable from Jaeger level 2. So, assuming that you've done the introduction to Jaeger quest, this will be a very good budget gun to run. Mainly because the 7.62 by 39 PS round still is pretty devastating, I would say. It'll go through face shields. It might ricochet off helmets every now and then, but typically what you're going to see is this will go through armor, if not destroy it, then go through it pretty consistently. So we got Jaeger level 2 for the gun. For the magazine, I would suggest having at least a 20 rounder if you're going to have one mag, and then you could top load it. But I would honestly suggest buying a second one from Peacekeeper. It's Peacekeeper level 2. This gun is one of the guns where if you run out of ammo and you don't have an extra mag and you're still currently fighting the person, having to top load, it could take a while, and more often than not, it's going to get you killed. So I would highly suggest get an extra mag. If you don't want to run one, that's up to you. But always try and have an extra mag. You also have the option of optic. So I usually will run the PSO. It's decent. It's, what do you call it? Viewing angle is pretty damn good. Hip firing, though, is going to be somewhat of an issue, and if that's the case, I would suggest, if you don't want to run a long-range optic, you can get a dovetail mount for the gun from Skier. I believe level 2, he has some options here. Yeah, so we have the B13 rail, which will go on there. Same thing with the B13V will also go on there. You could do the Cobra and whatnot, but I really wouldn't suggest it. It sits pretty high off the gun. It's just not what I prefer. At that point, it's subjective. It's personal preference there. Okay, armor. You can stick with the Press 3 armor if you'd like, but honestly, I always try and go for armored rigs. In my opinion, they're better. The armor material is better. less weight on your body so you can get more loot out of a raid. And most people aren't going to pick them up and take them out of the raid. So if you die with them or throw them to pick something else up, you're going to get them back for the most part. Okay, so pretty simple setup here. I think a lot of people know that the SKS is kind of tried and true for early levels and just budget runs in general. Obviously, if you have BP rounds, highly suggest that you use BP rounds in this gun. Then you just more often you're going to get those one taps. Okay. Other than that, meds, extra ammo, probably want an extra mag in here. And that's it. This is a very cheap kit. This is a very cheap kit. All right, next up, this is kit number 4. Armor and helmet's going to pretty much be the same across all of them, and it is. It's at that point, it's either what you have or what you can afford. Again, highly suggesting armored rigs. This one's a level 3, but you can get one very similar like we had in the first kit. That one specifically, it's around the same price, and it's a level 4. And I think you actually get 2 extra slots in the bottom. But the gun, in this case, we're going to have the Viper Hunter. And a lot of people hate this gun. They think it shouldn't be in the game. You know, it's one of the scariest guns in Tarkov, and for good reason. I mean, it shoots a 30 caliber bullet. It's cheap for the most part. Modding, it's very easy. So with this, I have the PSO again, the Belomo. If you don't want the Belomo, this one will actually accept that TTO1 that we had on the other AK. Just let me grab it off that real quick just to show you. Take the rear side off, throw that on. Now you have kind of a DMR here. Throw a red dot on it. PK06, EOTech, MRS can go on here. Whatever you want to do will work. And again, the M80 even. I would run M80 in this gun. M80 is reliable enough. It'll go through helmets. It'll shred up level 4 armor pretty easily. I think with people with no armor, it might even 1 or 2 tap in the chest consistently. And you could also get 10 round mags for it. So that's good. 10 round mags. Keep maybe 2 or 3 extra at least. 4 if you like. I like to keep 4. That's 40 rounds on the ready. And yeah. Oh, that's the wrong ammo there. Again, M80. M80. It's very simple. If you have M61, use it. If you have M62, use it. Don't use that ammo that scavs spawn with. I can't even remember what it's called. It's worthless. It takes so many shots to kill with someone like level 4 or higher. It's not worth it at all. But yeah, the basic, either the red dot or the Belomo. Either one, I would suggest. All right, and last but not least, we have the MP5. The reason why I'm choosing this one is purely based on price. And the reason I say that is because from Peacekeeper level 1, you can trade 4 of these brown handled knives, or 8, I'm sorry, for the MP5. Even if you bought these off of the flea market, you're only talking 20 to 25,000 rubles buying the knives for the barter trade to get the MP5. That mixed with the fact that you can get the threaded lug adapter for mechanic level 2. Where is that? Here. And then being able to purchase the suppressor you need. Not need, that you'd want. Which is just something to hide the sound. It's not going to affect the recoil too much. But on the flea market... Oh, that's the wrong one. On the flea market... 12k. Maybe 13k. Full... I don't want to say fully modded, but the gun with the suppressor, 30k, 30 to 35k. And the ability to mod this for pretty cheap thereafter is pretty good, because you can change out this handrail for one that I believe Peacekeeper 2 or Mechanic 2 sells, where you can get a foregrip. And if you don't want to use iron sights, you can also get this top rail that I believe is Peacekeeper 2 as well. And throw a red dot on top. Keep in mind, any low profile red dot is going to, you're going to see this, the front sight in it a little bit. But if you don't want to have to use the iron sights, that's the option for you. Ammo wise, I would suggest getting AP63, which you can get from Peacekeeper level 3, and if you do all the questing in a decent order, you'll get Peacekeeper 3 pretty early. I think the barrier here is like level 23 or 25, maybe even lower, and spend money with him. I can't remember exactly how much, but it's not terrible, and his tasks in the beginning aren't too hard. So getting AP63 unlocked is not tough, but if you don't have Peacekeeper 3 unlocked, just go with PSTGZH. When you're using this ammo, though, you're going to have to go with leg meta, or try and hit someone in the face, whether they have no face shield or not wearing a helmet. It's either legs or head. That's it. Don't try and shoot him in the armor, because this will do nothing. It will not do anything. Recoil and handling wise, it's if you get the foregrip, you're looking at closer to recoil in the 20s. So pretty much a laser when you're spraying it. Now obviously you can mod this a lot further, just like the AK that we went over. Though this MP5 and the AK can be modded pretty heavily once you get to those levels. So they're guns that you can end up using for a while and later on in the wipe. But as far as a very cheap and effective SMG, this has to be probably one of the best, mainly because of the knife trade. 8 of those knives cost nothing, and every time you scav, most of the time you're gonna have the knife that you need for this, or buying them on the flea market is next to nothing. So that has been the top 5. I think honorable mention here is the 5.7. I think the 5.7 is an honorable mention. The 5.7 mixed with SS190. It's a very viable pistol if you're running pistol runs. So honorable mention of the 5.7 here. Maybe with a red dot on top. They're not the cheapest guns, but they're extremely effective. The ammo is really good. And running this with just an armored rig and a backpack, helmet, and contacts, I've had some pretty solid runs doing it. As long as you can hit your shots, aiming for the head or face, you'll drop some people for sure. As long as you start shooting at them first, typically, though. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Keep in mind, I do stream most nights on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/SweatyWop. Down here at the bottom is the URL. Typical start times 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time till late. So, I hope to see you guys in the channel. Maybe if I get enough feedback on this video, I'll run these kits. Maybe each kit will get a video for itself, and see how much money we can make from these kits themselves. So yeah, go ahead and leave a subscribe, leave a follow, comment, whatever this YouTube shit uses, and I'll see you in the next video.
They fucking are moving everywhere, bro. They're gas station outside.
Okay. Who's up top?
Not me. I'm still in this room out here, Sweaty.
Got another one. Another one. Are you up top or bottom?
No, I'm down in the room.
Got another one. Woo! I think that's it. I need help though, because I need a pack mag so bad.